These guys are just like ready to ambush me if this doesn't work.
He told us it's a funny place to start, so we're waiting.
No, it's just
Get ready to laugh.
You should never
everybody.
say that winning hand.
Everyone
Right.
noted when Tom joined the Zoom that he has a basketball Illuminati Zoom background. And so he explained the process of how he made this background yesterday. And I figured Tom, as a man of technological means, will have, gotten to Photoshop and figured this out. He put the logo in a PowerPoint and exported the PowerPoint. And that's how he created the Zoom background. He used PowerPoint in the year of our Lord 2022 to create a Zoom background.
This is supposed to be Tom, you fool.
Witty.
So
Witty.
you're shaming him because he's
Using PowerPoint.
Why is that funny?
I learned that in elementary school.
I think it's smart. He doesn't have Photoshop.
You are PowerPoint shaming him. He's also distorted. Angel Resto made such beautiful graphics for Basketball Illuminati. If you have not checked it out, it's soaring up the charts. It's doing great with Tom Haberstroh and Amino Hassan. But that emblem is not representative, neither by PowerPoint nor by quality in the entirety of his work. You are not representing Angel graphically very, very well there.
Well, I can't disclose where I am when I tape these video sessions, Dan. Basketball Illuminati, we're very top secret. We can't reveal where we are doing our shows. And it is absolutely, I promise you with all my heart, it is not from the bedroom of my wife's parents' house. It is definitely not there. And I can't reveal where I am taping this. So I just want to be clear. Illuminati does not disclose that.
Understood. It's a very mysterious podcast, but they're asking some of those questions that aren't being asked anywhere else. He's got another podcast coming on because we don't have quite enough of those at Meadowlark Media, but we want to give you all a broad sampling of stuff to choose from. And we're making the way into college basketball here and the idea of the Underdog with a new podcast that Tom Haberstroh is starting with Peter Keating and Jordan Brenner. We'll get to that in a second, but I want to talk to him about basketball first. A lot of laughing at LeBron right now, Tom.
Is that a question?
That's it?
That's it. That's the question.
Dan said he was done earlier today.
He did. Yep. It's on social.
I'm with Dan. As far as a GM goes, LeBron getting Russell Westbrook has to go down as one of the biggest gaffes of LeBron James's career. If you watch last night's game, Luka Doncic just ate up LeBron James, just absolutely took it to him down the stretch and just said, like, I am the captain now. And LeBron James comes out to try to defend him, and Luka just between the legs, tween, then goes right to the basket. LeBron James can't come up. It's such a contrast to what we see with Russell Westbrook on the other end of the floor, where they're treating Russell Westbrook, former MVP, like he's Tony Allen, Dan. He's Tony Allen out there. They are standing back 20 feet from Russell Westbrook and daring him to shoot. In last night's game, 0 for 7 on jump shots. And then when he did try to go to the rim, they blocked him every single time. 5 blocks on Russell Westbrook when he went at the rim last night. Oh, dating back to February 1st, he's been blocked 21% of his shots at the rim. Russell Westbrook just doesn't have that gear anymore. And so if you were to build in a lab, the perfect co-pilot for LeBron James at this stage of his career, it might be Anthony Davis, but health-wise, he's not there. But the worst co-pilot has got to be something like Russell Westbrook. Can't shoot, doesn't defend, and when he does go at the rim, he just gets blocked. It's an easy block for Luka Doncic last night.
Mike, it's interesting that we have been, if you've been actually listening to this show for a while, this is how Russell Westbrook ages. And we were talking, that game's going to age more poorly than any of them. But Haberstroh and Amin, I thought they was too strong. As soon as they traded for Westbrook, Haberstroh and Amin are like, ooh, that's worse than not even adding somebody. That you're bringing in a triple-double guy, an MVP, and he, just by putting him on the team, you are making yourself worse than if you just got an average guy. I thought it was too strong, and they were exactly right.
Look, that's why you got to listen to the Basketball Illuminati. We're going to be talking about Zion Williamson in today's episode. We're going to be talking about Ja Morant and how, you know what, the voters are already smitten by Ja Morant, and he's already pretty much sealed the MVP vote, and we'll explain why that's the case. And we'll also reveal why the NBA is showing a big market bias with its officials. People are assuming that the officials might be, in the tank for big market teams, superstar bias. We actually put some numbers to it on Illuminati. So that's not just the only thing we called, Dan, about LeBron James and Russell Westbrook, the bad fit there in LA. I think that this is done in LA. I think LeBron James is saying all the things in the public about how, we're all on the same page, and Rich Paul met with the front office. Everything's good. I think he's toast. I think he's checked out. I think the Lakers know that, which is why they didn't make a deal at the deadline that would require them to give up a 2027 first round pick. Because I think everyone there knows this is not a marriage that is going to last past this offseason. I think the Lakers are going to look to try to trade LeBron James. And I think LeBron James knows it, because look at that, what he said about the Cleveland Cavaliers, and they got lots of good young players that the Lakers could use right now.
Tom, help me out with something. If Anthony Davis is healthy the entire season, what's their record? It's a poorly constructed team, and that's, that LeBron shares in that responsibility, or perhaps he has all that responsibility. But if he is healthy, what's their record this year?
I mean, they might be like a 6 seed. I mean, if that's really what you're topping out at with the Lakers, and you got Anthony Davis, LeBron James, and Russell Westbrook, that's not a good fit. Russell Westbrook is making $44 million this year, and he's the least efficient jump shooter in the NBA. He's making 44 this year and 47 next year. So if you're topping out with this fit at a 6 seed, a 5 seed in the Western Conference, bad idea. I'd rather have the role players that they sent to Washington.
Whittingham and Chris Cody both just vomited on their microphones. The sound was not on, but those contract numbers and those numbers at the rim, it's like you blew gas in their face.
Well, I think that last year for Russ Westbrook is a player option. Yeah, I think he'll be accepting that player option. Yeah. $47 million next year. And if only we could have seen this coming.
Yes. Let's go over to the Philadelphia 76ers. The shipping container is making fun of me for overreacting to the first 2 games of Harden and Embiid, but offensively, they do seem kind of overwhelming if those 2 guys are healthy.
Yeah, remember, Dan, when we did the turd deadline show, what I said about this trade and what about the 76ers now? They're going to be unwatchable, not because they are not going to be good like the Lakers are. They're going to be unwatchable because they're just going to be a parade at the free throw line. They're already blowing records out of the building in terms of getting to the free throw line. James Harden and Joel Embiid just live at the charity stripe. And so they're going to be super efficient in the Daryl Morey ball way, where they're going to try to go to the free throw line, hit threes, and get at the rim. But it's not going to be fun to watch. That offense is super potent, and they got Matisse Thybulle still on the team to be their perimeter defender. I don't know if they're going to win the East this year. I think it's a little too quick to say that with Doc Rivers trying to manage this overnight, but I do think they're going to be a huge power over the next couple seasons while they still have that window of Joel Embiid and James Harden playing at a high level.
Tom, here's a question no one is asking, certainly over the last 48 hours. Was the Ja Morant dunk the other night the greatest dunk in NBA history?
Wow. That seems like a little bit of knee jerk. I would probably NBA history, Vince Carter jumping over a 7-footer in Team USA isn't NBA, I guess. So Ja Morant, that one was incredible because it came out of nowhere. Like the way Jakob Poeltl was set up like outside of the paint, he was not expecting at all that he was going to attempt to dunk that. Like he jumped almost over Jakob Poeltl, who's a 7-footer, and dunked that. It's incredible. I think like Ja Morant is exactly what the NBA needs. He's super fun to watch. He's young, and he's keeping everyone distracted about what's happening with Zion Williamson. Why is he in Portland? What's happening in that situation? Ja Morant, who was picked 2nd in the draft, lifting that small market Memphis grit and grind team is absolutely everything the NBA needs. It was an awesome play, and I don't know that buzzer beater falling into the corner, like that was CGI. Like, I don't think that was real. Like that's the next thing we're going to talk about Illuminati, whether that was some sort of like metaverse shot. Cause I still can't believe that went in.
Okay. I got to get rid of Tom Haberstroh here, and I've got to call an emergency session here. This has been an overlooked thing here with the planning of our company. We're very disorganized. Billy, take your couple of Cubans over there and go to the kitchen and report live on, please, Mad Dog Russo on First Take. He's on First Take. It's happening right now,
Wow.
and we have gone
Snuck up on us this week.
Well,
please,
he took a week off last week.
Go out there immediately and get me. I need live coverage. I got Tom. I'm sorry about this. If people want to check you out, he's got a new podcast, and it's called Underdogs with Tom Haberstroh, Peter Keating, and Jordan Brenner. It comes out today. Tell us what it is you're doing with it, what it is you're trying to do with it. We want people to support everything that we're doing around here. We're going to have to get rid of you during the promotion as soon as Billy gets into position over there so that we can get some live updates on what Mad Dog Russo and Stephen A. Smith are arguing about.
I think the podcast is just breaking down Stephen A. Smith going against Mad Dog Russo as the underdog in that fight. Like that Stephen A. is the underdog in that fight. So here's the podcast,
shout.
okay?
What's the spread?
Everyone loves underdogs. We are helping people predict underdogs, upsets, the Abilene Christians, the George Masons. Everyone loves an underdog, but we, the three of us, are revitalizing a project we did at ESPN 10 years ago, getting really smart people like Jordan and Peter, trying to predict upsets come March Madness, come tournament time. This is the podcast you need to be listening to when you are filling out your brackets and betting on college basketball over the next month. I promise you that.
All right, we're gonna keep an eye on your record to see if you're any good at this. If your numbers help you, like if you're gonna give people I don't know whether you're good at giving gambling advice, but you're gonna give them a lot of information if they're gamblers at a time that people are gonna be gambling.
Yes, and the thing that we do is we figure out the secret sauce of these upsets. Like, it's not enough to look at their record or their point differential. We have identified through studying in history what are the traits of underdogs that pull off that upset. And there are three things you need to know. One, you got to take a lot of three-pointers. Two, you got to create chaos on the defensive
live
end.
Now. If you
And
want to hear what the three things are, you got to go to the podcast. Get out of here. You got to go to the podcast.
That doesn't
get him out of
matter.
here.
No,
we got to get you out of here.
Underdogs.
Goodbye. We got to get
Joel
you out of
Embiid,
here.
James Harden, Jimmy Butler, Bam Adebayo, 1 through 4, rank them.
I was told that Billy's in position. We can't wait another minute. Get out of here, Haberstroh, with your shitty promotional things of your podcast. Nobody needs any more podcasts.
It was you were the one who promoted
it.
This is ridiculous.
Get out of here. Billy,
go listen to Metal Larkers.
I like his background.
Butler over Harden.
PowerPoint.
Billy, please.
Hey, Dan, it's Billy. I'm out here. Unfortunately, right now, First Take isn't on, but I will tell you CNN says that Biden said Putin will pay a price.
Wow.
Back to you.
Okay, very good. I'm deeply regretful that I ended Tom Haberstroh's segment. Mad Dog is on in here. Do they not have the ability in the other room?
They can't find the remote, Dan.
They can't. Yeah. That's the professionalism we have around here when we're
doing.
What
channel number is
all
it?
Right.
I think it's
206.
Okay.
All right.
And we're in commercial.
All right. Excellent.
But we're not.
Excellent dismount.
Tom said guard play doesn't matter in the NCAA tournament.
You said veteran, experienced guard play.
It's the only thing
one of the
matters.
big myths.
Yeah.
Why is Haberstroh still here?
Rank them. Embiid, Harden, Butler, Adebayo.
Oh, I'll go Embiid, Harden.
Oh, no, get him out of here. Why is he still here?
You're afraid of the truth.
Oh, wait, what? How many times can I get punted from this show? How many?
Out of here!
There's stuff I want to talk about from politics, man. The internet section has come to life, and we've just elected some trolls who are there to literally heckle the president of the United States during the State of the Union. But I can't talk about that right now because Billy Gill is in the kitchen, and Billy Gill is watching First Take as Mad Dog Russo and Stephen A. Smith butt heads. Billy, please give me a pseudo live update here on what we've missed. I can't believe that this damn show went 11 minutes without knowing that. What's happening out there, Billy?
Hey, Dan, it's Billy. Things are getting hot and heavy here on the set of First Take. While we were away, Stephen A. declared today to be a bad day. In the meantime, Elise told me that she loves Stephen A., to which I said,
Who's
oh, yeah,
Elise?
he's the best. And she said he's great on General Hospital. Then Mad Dog said, you don't go to L.A. to win one championship. And then he started saying that LeBron is not a Laker, that Elgin Baylor's a Laker, that Jerry West is a Laker.
So right.
What is LeBron? Yeah. Is he a Cav? Is he a Heat? Then he said that he was a Cav. Then they had a debate back and forth. Will LeBron get a statue in L.A. if he retired today? To which Stephen A. and Mad Dog agreed he would not. And then Stephen A. was
agreed?
trying to checkmate Mad Dog by saying Elgin Baylor, Jerry West, and Wilt did not win multiple titles for the Lakers.
Stephen A. seems animated right
Yeah.
now. There's a lot of
I gotta go,
pointing-
Dan.
Okay, why do you have to go? What you're our live?
He's reporting, Dan.
Okay, well, who's Elise? Okay, never mind. Elise was happy. You don't want to tell the audience that Elise is my assistant. And Elise likes Stephen A. on General Hospital. That's all she knows. She just saw him on the screen, and she's like, oh, I like that guy. And just know that the guy on General Hospital is the one presently on your television as well. It's the same person. It's a professional actor and soap opera star. And nobody in sports seems to know it.
I love the idea of Elise going, is that the guy from General Hospital?
Yeah, why is he yelling at that other guy? I'm just used to him coming in and just being because is he his character on General Hospital. I can't believe that that's a sentence I'm saying. That character has a name, and that character has been on that soap opera across a couple of seasons now. I don't know how long, but
Hey, Dan, it's Billy. I hate to interrupt. Mad Dog just yelled Jerry West was the logo.
I mean, no. Where are the lies?
He has a point.
And they also think that he will have a statue in Cleveland, if you were wondering.
But why was the logo?
Gotta go.
Is okay. Very good. I don't know why he has to keep going, but why not? Is the logo? He is the logo. He continues to be the logo. That's why you hire Mad Dog to come on Wednesdays and say that Jerry West is the logo.
But he's right about LeBron. He's not a Laker, not a real Laker. Like, he wouldn't be in anyone's top 5 Lakers. He wouldn't.
Well, you think of him as a Cav, but you really want to drag me into this.
Oh, I do.
Because I'd really not like to have that conversation
Okay.
ever in the rest of my life. I know you secretly want to do this show, though.
I just wanted to see if you thought he was a Laker.
But why do you explain to me, Stugotz? Because it's been disrespectful to me my entire life. Why do you why do you prefer still, given how good it's been to you, to do that show than the one we're presently doing?
I love a little sports debate.
Do you not see how jealous I am of the fact that you want to be there instead of here?
I'm sorry. I love you, man.
You want to be doing whether or not LeBron is a Heat, a Cav, or a Laker.
Well, listen, he is not a Laker. He's definitely a Heat. I'm
Hey,
not
Dan, it's
certain he's
Billy
a
again.
Cav. Go
Okay,
ahead.
thank you, Billy. I don't know how we're doing the reporting on this,
Cav,
but
you
I don't know
love it.
why you have to keep going. You've got an update?
All right, while we were away, Stephen A. said, quote, no disrespect to the silhouette, but he doesn't care how many times Jerry West was in the finals. And then they started talking about the Braves and how they don't care about the Braves of the 90s and how many times they won the division title but didn't win the World Series because it didn't matter. And then Stephen A. boldly said, and I quote, LeBron James deserves respect. I'll be back.
What is Chris Cody doing out there? He's just providing background laughs, or he doesn't want to be a part of our show? He'd prefer to be watching that one as well. Just like Stugotz. It's just going to be me, isn't it? Shouting into a tin can and masturbating as everyone is watching Skip Bayless and Stephen A. Smith 40 years from now, still yelling like Muppets on television. We're going to lose, aren't we?
People who didn't listen to yesterday's show will be very confused at what you just said.
I am. I didn't listen to that part. If you're the logo, like that's just you can pull that argument out and win every argument, right? Like, hey, I'm the logo.
I have to be honest, I'm surprised that Stugotz hasn't done the Jerry West shouldn't be the logo take. He only won 1 title and he lost 8.
No, I have said that Michael Jordan should be the logo. I've said that a number of times. By the way, Stephen A. Smith's character at General Hospital, his name is Brick.
Does he have a last name?
No, just Brick.
It's just Brick. Can you give me some of the dialogue that character has had? Can we find a script
Dan.
somewhere? Yes, Billy.
It's Billy.
Yeah.
Stephen A. just said, quote, Ty Lue, some would say, is the best coach in basketball. Embrace debate. I'll be back.
Okay. Thank you, Billy. Mike-
Diana Taurasi is the WNBA logo, but they won't admit it.
Is that right?
Well, they changed the logo like a few years ago, and it used to be a player with a ponytail. Then they changed it to a player with a bun. She's the only she's one of the best WNBA players of all time, probably the GOAT. Also, she wears a bun.
But they won't admit it? Is it because
They're just like, oh, it's not based on anyone. It's like,
but
it
they're
looks
using her likeness?
like
This is
Diana
the fight.
Taurasi.
This is the fight that they're going to presently have in the WNBA over everyone owning their own content. Like, are they denying legitimately that she's the logo because they don't want her to have the intellectual property without paying her?
I don't know.
of being the logo?
They said this happened like maybe like more than 5 years ago now, but they said that they just thought it was like a sleeker silhouette. Like they wanted to update it. Like ponytails out of style. Everyone wears buns now. It's very strange though.
Stugotz,
But you just said only one player wears a bun famously.
But she is the player who wears the bun.
But you just said everyone wears.
That's
no
what
one
the
wears
WNBA
ponytails.
said. They're like, we all have buns, right?
Basketball
And it's like, well,
Illuminati
yes.
must tackle this.
Do you get paid for being a logo? Like, does Jerry West get royalties for that?
I think that's been settled. Like, I think there was some sort of situation there. I'll report back. Give me 5 minutes.
I think all of us are realizing everyone who is fighting over this content space, I think everyone is realizing that their identities have more value than they thought. And the women are headed into a fight in 2027 with the collective bargaining agreements, that will really be, okay, are we closer to equality? Because here's a product, the ratings are going up. Everyone wants to be streaming live sports. We can get it cheaper than all these other things, but maybe we can't get it all as cheap as we'd like to get it, because there's a huge fight right now among women realizing in their sports, wait a minute, I have a good deal of value, and in the next collective bargaining agreement, I'm going to have a good deal more.
Short Google says Jerry West does not get royalties from the logo because the regular NBA, I shouldn't say regular there, I don't know what I'm doing. The NBA without the W says it's not him.
So how do you play?
That was a quick Google search. I'll verify.
But he gets to call himself the logo. Other people refer to him as the logo, and history reflects kindly on his time, even though he wasn't better than Dwayne Wade.
You know, Jerry West doesn't want to be the logo.
He wasn't at all better than Dwayne Wade.
He doesn't want to be the logo, though.
Ridiculous.
Mm-hmm. Zeke from Cabin Creek.
He doesn't want to be the logo?
He does not want to be the logo. He has said that many times. Tired of it.
He's tired of being the logo?
Yeah. He thinks Jordan should be.
Put it on the poll, Whittingham, while Billy's over there with First Take. Should Jerry West be tired of being the logo? Speaking of money, I learned something today that was shocking to me as it regarded money, something I'd never heard of. I say Bobby Bonilla to you guys, and what's the word association? Bobby Bonilla had a very good major league career, but when I say that name,
Bobby Bo.
That's what you think of, yes, uselessly.
Yep, thanks.
$1 million payment once every year for 30 years.
Thank you, Whittingham. I believe that's a thing that people associate with Bobby Bonilla, that when the Mets went under with Bernie Madoff on their finances, that Bobby Bonilla, who we interviewed last year on Bobby Bonilla Day, the day that he still gets a check many, many years after baseball, I have what I believe to be a shocking stat of the day on if this sport remains locked out, who one of the highest paid players in baseball is going to be this year. The name I'm about to say, I like to underpromise and overdeliver. I believe Stugotz will find shocking because it is not Bobby Bonilla. It is someone else. Give me the short version, please.
Start of the day, start of the day. It is the start of the day. Start of the day, start of the day. It is the start of the day. Start of the day, start of the day. It is the start of the day. Start of the day, start of the day. It is the start of the day.
Stat of the day is presented by ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
If baseball remains locked out, one of the highest paid players in baseball this year will be Bruce Sutter.
What? Oh, my God. A classic closer. I mean,
Get out of here. When was the last time he pitched?
Suits.
I'm glad you asked. 30 years ago.
What? He was good.
America's team back then stunk, but back then they were the thing that was streaming. They became a national product. America's team, terrible teams, with that guy as their closer, and all they had was Dale Murphy, but they became a national team because they got to cable television first. And Bruce Sutter, who pitched for teams that were 96 loss teams, made sure that his 6-year, $9.1 million salary, that all of it was deferred, and his salary each year was just the interest on that money. So Bruce Sutter gets a balloon payment at 69 years old. this year of $9.1 million after being paid for 30 years $1 million a year on the interest from the 90s. He should be more famous than Bonilla because Bonilla got to this game late, man. Bruce Sutter had it on lock.
There is.
Yes, Billy.
Sorry.
I hate to interrupt here, but we had a couple things go down while we were away. We got to the question, was it a mistake for LeBron to go to L.A.? Stephen A. said no. We never got to Mad Dog on that question because we derailed a couple of times. They started arguing as to whether or not Frank Vogel is a dope. Stephen A. said, I never said Frank Vogel is a dope, but he wasn't LA's first, second, or third choice as coach. And then he pointed out a number of times that Frank Vogel was on First Take while he wasn't coaching in the NBA. He also said that Frank is too passive. Then they went back to the well on the Jerry West situation and the fact that Mad Dog keeps saying that he made it to 9 NBA finals, to which Stephen A. doesn't want to give him credit for because he only won 1 and lost 8, to which Mad Dog responded that one championship that they won was perhaps the greatest team of all time, the 71-72 Lakers. And he rolled his eyes when we were headed into commercial break. Mad Dog did. Back to you.
Is Cody eating chips? Is Cody giving you? He's eating chips.
Delicious Chippos.
Okay. Why would you call them Chippos?
Yeah, no, Chippo, I don't know.
Yeah.
All right. Good work from out there, Chris. You're doing nothing.
Sutter won a Cy Young. Sutter deserves a balloon payment. And let me tell you, nothing sounds better than a balloon payment. That sounds delightful.
Put it on the poll, Whittingham. Does anything sound better than a balloon payment? Bruce Sutter, I did not think that today's show would lead us here. Mike, I was worried I was being fooled by Ballsack Sports again. I had to scour the internet to make sure this was real because I thought it was so shocking that I could report the news exclusively that Major League Baseball's highest paid player today
a closer from the late 70s
has the chance to be because he wasn't any good when the Braves were paying him. Those were all 90. He saved 40 games in those 6 years, but he's getting a balloon payment of 9.1. I didn't even know that money made interest that way.
He cashed in because the year he signed with the Braves, he was coming off a 45 save season, and then he fell apart.
And he said to himself, I don't know if I'm going to live till 69, but I wish to be getting a balloon payment at 69 years old after being paid every year $1 million a year. I don't even understand the math of that. You guys explain to me how it is that he can go from signing a $9.1 million contract over 6 years, be paid $1 million every year for 30 years, and then get a balloon payment that's as much as the original contract.
Mike, he was top 10 in MVP voting 5 different times, Bruce Sutter. It was a different time. It was a different game.
We had a math guy who was just on. You kicked him off, so...
Well, because we had to go to First Take again and again, which we'll do so again next. Billy, stay out there. I want updates for the remainder of the show.
I could read I feel like this might alienate some of the audience, but I feel like the names of the 1985 Atlanta Braves might tickle you.
Oh, my God. This is the wheelhouse, though. This is America's team, right? This was Ted Turner, cable television. This introduced me to baseball. I fell in love with Gary Matthews.
But those Cardinal teams, I think, for you and me, right? John Tudor, Danny Cox, the teams that he was on. Willie McGee.
No, those were better teams. I don't want to do that show, though. God
John
help us.
Tudor.
Listening to you talk about it, I imagine that
21-9 one season.
There have to be First Take producers that are a little nervous about having a debate about the 1971 Los Angeles Lakers and Jerry West.
But I
think this may be a little bit out of the demo.
Mike, you tell me. I asked you yesterday, how are the Evolvers going to age in this space? Did you see that Adam Schefter talked to Caesars? Adam Schefter's about to get all these guys, quiet as it's kept, all these guys are becoming free agents, the information guys at the same time. If a gambling company wants to go in and take ESPN's information, people, they've got the money to do it. And it's being reported. Now, they can be used as leverage the same way that Sean McVay used Amazon as leverage. Maybe Adam Schefter wants to stay there. But this whole game is about to, blow up over the next 10 years of evolution. And on First Take, the best there's ever been at this stuff is arguing about the 1970s, and Stugotz wants to talk about John Tudor.
I mean, Whitty was about to read off 85 Braves. I mean, tickle me, please.
I had to stop him because that is not the show. We are not going to counter First Take 70s talk with 1985 Braves talk.
No, we've just countered it with talking about First Take, talking about 71 Lakers talk.
Stugotz, the wheel of issues is loaded.
Wow.
Listen to the things on this wheel of issues. You've got the Packers alleging they have not taken any calls on Aaron Rodgers and trading Aaron Rodgers. That seems hard to believe. You've got Cain Velasquez. Cain Velasquez accused of murder, jailed for murder, UFC heavyweight former champion, also wrestler, and shot up a car, and allegedly it was because a relative that is unnamed, a child that is unnamed, this is all the reporting around it, was sexually abused at a daycare center at a home, and so he shot a car full of people, one of whom he was trying to hit allegedly. All of this allegedly, accused of molestation. That's the story so far.
It says all of that on the wheel, huh?
Yes, amazingly. It just says Cain Velasquez, and then I had to explain the story to you because I know you haven't seen any of what I'm talking about. So if it lands on that, I want you to be able to talk about it.
The fine print.
Larry Fitzgerald's dad has called Kyler Murray spoiled. First person with the Cardinals to put their name, or not, he's not with the Cardinals, but he's Larry Fitzgerald's dad.
He is with the Cardinals.
Is he?
Yes.
Put it on the poll at LeBatard Show. Is Larry Fitzgerald's dad on the Cardinals for life? Also on the wheel, Abramovich allegedly, reportedly, moving all of his assets 8 days before tanks started moving in Russia, and all the peace talks that we were talking about earlier this week. Abramovich is on the wheel because I think, Mike Ryan, you took a lot of heat for, again, right? You took it all weekend for quote-unquote defending Abramovich by saying again and again that there's a whole lot of mystery around this person, and you prefer to believe the Russian oligarch spokesman that he is indeed trying to broker world peace.
Yeah, that's also very flattering. And the more that comes out about it, the less good it looks for Roman Abramovich, the more likely it is that he sells the team. And quite frankly, I think that that's the only move right now. In terms of football, Roman Abramovich has been one of the best owners in soccer history. But it's very clear this is an untenable situation. The manager lashed out at the media yesterday because he's being put in an impossible situation. I saw that report. I didn't read too much into it. Obviously, everybody knew about this Russian invasion if you pay attention to the U.S. intelligence reports for weeks beforehand. So it's very likely that all the oligarchs had plenty of time to start moving their financials around.
Jessica, you raised your eyebrows.
So he's not going to win the Nobel Peace Prize.
Doesn't appear like he's in place to win the Nobel Peace Prize right now. No.
We're doing a lot of talking
That's
about a topic the wheel hasn't landed on.
Hold
It's
on.
not on the wheel. It's not on the wheel anymore.
I appreciate the dig, but that's totally unfair.
Is
I
it?
mean, you're the one who said it.
No,
I
I
know
did.
you might have said it facetiously.
I
but
did say it
you did say
facetiously,
it.
so yes.
It's too bad it's not on the wheel anymore because you guys have now talked it through, and now it hasn't even
I'd rather
landed
not
on
talk
that.
about Roman Abramovich anymore.
But
It's
what
a
if
lot
the
of
wheel
answering.
lands on it? You don't have a choice.
That's
Yeah.
right. That's why
Very
I
true,
brought it
very
up.
The problem with the wheel.
Also on the
Already did
wheel,
it, though.
a cargo ship off of the coast of Portugal with 4,000 vehicles, luxury vehicles in it. A cargo ship just sank into the ocean. That seems like, and it was on fire. It was on fire for weeks and then sank into the ocean.
Weird times.
And Bruce Arians. Bruce Arians is on the wheel as well because what he said yesterday was funny about Tom Brady belongs to them and nobody else. Tom Brady's not playing anywhere else the rest of his career unless he says 5 first-round picks, 5 first-round picks, and then he's asked, is there any chance he plays for somebody else? He's like, nope, bad business. And also Nick Chubb squatting 495 pounds.
That was impressive.
5 times.
Mm-hmm.
And a Wheel of Fortune catastrophe unlike any you've ever seen in the history of Earth.
The wheel killed someone?
Huh.
I mean, it killed somebody in their hometown where they didn't know what was
Killed
on
my
the
soul.
Oh my God! People screamed at their television, and also Saquon Barkley is available for trade. That wheel's loaded, Stugotz.
It's a big
There's
wheel.
a wheel on the wheel?
Yeah.
This is crazy.
So
Unprecedented.
spin the wheel.
Dan, it landed on cargo ship.
Exciting.
Wow.
Thank God.
Mike was praying for it not to land on Abramovich.
You know, that cargo ship had what I didn't even know existed was finders keepers law.
Get out of here.
It was in, I guess, international water, and since it was abandoned and just floating out there, anyone apparently could have just laid claim to the cargo ship and all of the cars that were on fire.
Aren't we pirates? Why didn't we just go steal the ship?
We were pirates, not anymore. It's a different phase. Once we officially signed aboard with DK, our partners over at DraftKings, we left all that booty out there in international waters.
4,000 luxury cars, and the ship was on fire for weeks, or it was being reported that they couldn't figure out how to stop the ship from being on fire, and then they tried to rescue the 4,000 luxury cars, and now they're at the bottom of the ocean.
It sank?
Yeah, that's the it just sank. It was on fire. This seems like just not a great thing in general for the environment to have 4,000 luxury cars sink.
It's the worst possible scenario, I think.
Better than electric cars burning, right?